Hello, my Bill 5000 Nation. How's everyone doing today? Hopefully, everyone's having a great day. If not, I hope it gets better from here. We are back with another That Chapter. This one is titled Twisted Teens Evil Fantasies Become Reality. All right, I'm excited for today's story. It is actually suggested by a subscriber. You guys really traumatize me with your suggestions sometimes, but I enjoy it. So, yeah. All right, I'm excited to get into today's story. If you're as excited as I am, go ahead, turn them lights down low, put on something comfy, cup with something special. Oh, yeah, let's go ahead and get traumatized. It's.
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this solo video,
Hello, Mike. My name is Bill. Thank you for having me. Pleasure to be here, as always, my friend.
It was a Saturday, and during that afternoon, two teens were waiting at a bus stop in a town in northwest England. No one walking by would have suspected a single thing. This is a quiet town, nice place to live. These teens were waiting for someone who thought they were friends, and the three of them would walk together to a nearby park. Only about an hour later, emergency services would be called in a panic. Little did anybody know that these two teens had a kill list, and they were only just getting started. This has been something they had worked on for months and months, becoming an all-consuming obsession. Please subscribe to see new videos every...
Was they not hugged us enough as a child? What the fuck's going on here? Why do two teenagers have a fucking kill list, bro? They had a hard life.
Week now. Let's give it a go. The town of Birchwood, it lies in northwest England, right? And it's about halfway between the cities of Manchester and Liverpool. Not doing the accents this time. It's a pretty small old place, very suburban. Houses, shopping centres and some parks there. A very leafy community. A place known for its mist at night. Kinda spooky.
Ooh.
Seems to have this whole kind of autumnal thing going on. By all accounts, it's a nice and friendly place. A lot of parks in the area, and that kind of comes up again and again.
Looks
North
beautiful.
of the town lies a park. Culcheth Linear Park. Linear because it's more like a trail than an open park. And it was on the afternoon of February 11th, 2023 that a 999 call was made from that park. Two people, Andrew and Catherine, they were a husband.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's different everywhere, ain't it? Son of a bitch. I'm like, why 999? What's 99? Okay, yeah, it's 9. It's okay. That's stupid sometimes.
And wife. They were walking their two dogs along this trail when they came across, in the middle of the woods, near a bench and some stairs, a teenager lying on the ground. Just lying there beside the stairs. They called emergency services at 3:13 p.m, saying, "I'm in Culcheth Linear Park. Somebody has been attacked. We have seen some of the attackers run away from the body. She's very hurt. She's halfway down some stairs. She's bleeding heavily. There's blood on her legs and on her back. She's really hurt. We thought it was a dummy at first. I don't want to touch her either. I don't know if she's alive. She did twitch before. It's an absolute mess." Catherine, who was the one who made this call, she described the two people she thought could have possibly done this. They were both wearing dark clothing with their hoods up. Seemed to be a boy and a girl. And as they were walking over there, they had seen them up heading the trail. She would say that she thought the boy was leaning down as if he was putting a leash on a dog, and then when they got closer, he was actually leaning over the body. And they'd seen him walking away. She would describe it not as sprinting away across the fields, but lolloping away, which is weird as all shit.
What's that mean? Is that kind of like a fast stroll, maybe, or like the la 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 la, like the Smurfs?
It would soon be determined that the girl on the ground was 16-year-old Brianna Ghey. Brianna was born in November 2006, the daughter of Esther and Peter. Brianna attended Birchwood Community High School and was known as a very kind person. One thing she loved was TikTok. She had over 30,000 followers on the site and loved making her little videos.
These are like the only heels I have, and they're too big for me. And like, I wore them to a wedding, and then I threw up everywhere. Like, they're very, very big. Like, I don't know how to show how tall they are.
Brianna was transgender, and she was fearless about it. That's a word that keeps coming up again and again when you read about Brianna Ghey, that she was fearless, very, very brave, but not in that, kind of condescending, oh my god, you're so brave, like that kind of way. Just very confident in who she was and who she wanted to be. She lived with her mom, Esther, her older sister, Alicia, and stepdad. Her parents, Esther and Peter, had separated, and growing up, Brianna didn't have a huge amount of contact with her dad, but recently, they had reconnected. Brianna was a very funny, outgoing young woman, really gregarious, larger than life, always ready with the zingers. But then, behind the scenes, the Brianna she didn't show off, she had mental health issues, self-harm, eating disorders, anxiety issues, what made it hard for her to leave the house a lot of the time. Other than school, that was it.
Aww.
Brianna's anxiety meant that in
That's awful. She's a beautiful young lady. Like, that's awful.
school, she would spend a lot of time in the inclusion unit, which essentially inclusion units in schools, it's for students who maybe need a little bit of like extra help, maybe a little bit more vulnerable, that kind of thing. Students who need a little bit of extra time who maybe aren't kind of right for bulk classroom learning, and Brianna's anxiety included her in the inclusive unit. Brianna was there, and in November 2022, a new girl joined the class. That was 15-year-old Scarlett Jenkinson. She had previously gone to school in the next town over, Culcheth, but she had transferred because she was kicked out of her own school. She actually had been kicked out of a couple of schools. The reason she'd most recently been kicked out was that in September 2022, she had brought some weed gummies into the school, and they were like not a fan of that.
Damn.
A thorough background check on Scarlett was done by the school. She was described as a quiet and anxious girl, fairly normal, daughter of a tradesman father, and home ec teacher mother. No red flags.
Pretty
That's
normal.
because the red flags, which kind of probably should have been raised, weren't raised at Birchwood High School, which would probably have led to them turning her down. The school would have to accept her if she was kicked out of the previous one and was being transferred. See, Scarlett had previously poisoned a 13-year-old girl with said weed gummies. She'd given her a couple of these gummies, didn't tell her what they were. This young girl then had to be hospitalized. Charges were never pressed against Scarlett, though, in relation to this. At the school, Scarlett didn't have any close friends, and told other...
We're using weed as a weapon now? Man, that's fucked up. That's so fucked up. That hurts my heart. It does.
other students she was involved in Satanism and believed she was a witch. Allegedly, she had tried to recruit other students to take part in some good old blood rituals, which you gotta love. I think they, though, politely declined. Over time, she became friendly with Brianna, and it seemed like a normal relationship. They began to hang out more and more. However, texts would show that, in December and January 2022, 2023, Scarlett became obsessed. Absolutely obsessed with Brianna. Like, not in a romantic way, just in a I can't stop thinking about this person kind of way. She would text a friend of hers, Eddie Ratcliffe, about just how obsessed she was with Brianna. Scarlett and Eddie had been friends in Culcheth School. Eddie a loner, but both of them were always described as very, very smart. They had been friends for about 4 or 5 years by this point. Now, Scarlett herself, she had a fella. She did have a boyfriend, but the things she would share with Eddie were not the kind of things you would normally share with your boyfriend unless your boyfriend is an absolute psycho. I'm talking serial killer obsessions, torture obsessions, murder, blood, all that good stuff. Scarlett liked Eddie because...
What kind of video are we fucking watching here? Damn.
Because he had an interest in the same murderous fantasies that she did. Eddie, he liked Scarlett because she could help him socially and introduce him to girls. Scarlett was mostly obsessed with the Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez, but she was also partial to Jeffrey Dahmer. How original. And Harold Shipman too. Her diary's pretty messed up. She had like a little facts sheet about each serial killer. Reports say that in late 2022 she also downloaded an Onion browser to, well, browse the dark web to find videos of people being tortured and killed. Though there's plenty of that on like the regular ass web, so you don't need an Onion browser to see that kind of content. But yeah, she was just obsessed with murder films, horror films, blood. One of her favorite movies was Sweeney Todd. She was like obsessed with like the knife he would use to. I don't know. I've never seen it.
I'm not gonna lie. I like Sweeney Todd too. Demon Barber of Fleet Street. I mean, it's just it's good. It's good. It's good. But I don't want to kill people because of it. I mean, shit.
Movie, but chop people up or something. She would like Mitch off school all the time and just stay at home watching really gory movies, and I guess just becoming, you know, big fan. On February 11th, 2023.
Makes me second guess on having Scary Movie Month during October, bro. Beautiful young lady. Like, I don't even want to know what they... Oh, God. It's going to get bad, ain't it? Oh, God. We still have 14 minutes. Oh, it's going to get shit.
Brianna had been home alone. Her mother and sister were out. And she texted her mother telling her she was heading out and getting the bus to go meet her friend, Scarlett Jenkinson. Her mom, Esther, actually thought that was kind of strange. See, Brianna had never gotten the bus alone before. Her anxiety kind of prevented her from doing it, so I guess she was, oh, cool, good for you. Also, the fact that she was going to meet Scarlett was also just a little bit, because Brianna's mother, Esther, had never met Scarlett. She'd heard Brianna talk about Scarlett all the time, but she had never met her, and they hadn't even been friends that long. But Esther, you know, it was a nice Saturday in February 2023. She didn't think too much of it. It was a beautiful sunny day. The bus journey took about 15 minutes to get to Colchester. And there, Scarlett Jenkinson was waiting for Brianna. It was just going to be a, you know, a cool-ass hangout. But there was someone else waiting for Brianna too. Someone Brianna did not know, had never met before. That was Eddie Ratcliffe. The three of them headed off together for a walk, heading to the Colchester Linear Park, which is about a mile from the bus stop. As they were walking, they were seen by a few folk, just seemed like regular teens, and they were, until they got to the park, a disused rail line. And then as soon as they were out of sight of other folk, that's when they struck.
Why?
Less than an hour later, Brianna was...
Was it just sheer opportunity, or was that why she was obsessed with her, because she wanted to kill her the whole fucking time? I have a lot of questions, and I know a lot of them probably sound really stupid, and we're probably going to get to them. But they're questions I have in the moment, and I have to get them out or I drive myself insane. But, I mean, was it just sheer opportunity? She knew she could talk her into going out there, or was she obsessed with her because she wanted to wear her skin or some stupid shit?
Found by a husband and wife walking their two dogs. She had been stabbed 28 times in the head, neck, and body. It was a horrific scene.
Oh my God.
When the investigation into this began, the police quickly, they like almost like immediately swooped in on Scarlett Jenkinson because Brianna Ghey had texted her mother saying, "Guess who I'm going to hang out with? Scarlett." Then investigating Scarlett, they quickly determined her links to Eddie Ratcliffe, and were going to go for him too. In fact, both Scarlett and Eddie were arrested simultaneously at about 7 p.m. the day after the murder.
Fuck yeah.
Scarlett, this is what I've got to say.
Yeah.
At this moment, because the information I have received, you are under arrest on suspicion of murder. Obviously you are under caution, so anything you say is getting recorded. Okay?
What if me being suspect is because like I was the last person seen her, or like how come I'm suspect?
Pardon?
Like, how come I'm a suspect?
How come you're a
Is
suspect?
it because I'm the last person that's seen her, or is it?
I don't know. All the information I've received is you are a suspect, okay, for the murder.
Yeah.
Oh, why you crying, you little
Eddie?
bitch?
Yeah. Eddie, you lot of suspicion of murder.
Why you crying, you little bitch? Huh? You wanted to play like the big boys, right? And now you're gonna be upset. Is it because you thought you was going to be a little bit more famous than what you is? Poor thing. Little bitch. I hope he cries too.
All right? You don't have to say anything, but you may harm you eventually mention when questioned. So you later line in court, and if you do say evidence, do you understand?
Yeah, unlock these.
I can't explain it.
No, listen.
Right, listen.
Do it all on interview, all right? You're going to take it to the wrong corner, you'll be interviewed about it, they'll ask you questions, all right?
While the pair were being questioned by police, their homes were being searched. Eddie
Fuck yeah.
Ratcliffe lived with his parents and siblings. As I said, always a loner, and he was diagnosed with autism, selective mutism, and a high level of social anxiety.
Damn.
He spoke when arrested, but as the judicial process continued, he spoke less and less, except with and through his mother. His family, again, seemed perfectly normal, perfectly, like, whatever. This is, one of those cases where you talk about killers as, like, nurture versus nature. And this is a very good example of they both came from extremely well-liked, normal-ass families who seemingly gave them everything they wanted growing up. And they still, turned out not great. Eddie's dad, a fitness trainer, his mother an artist, and Eddie was the middle of 3 children. Top student, never in trouble, the family would go skiing, boating on the lakes, and he was planning on studying microbiology in university. It was in his house the police found a hunting knife and bloody clothing. CCTV showed Eddie leaving the scene on bus, wiping blood off his clothing. After the murder, they just both went home and chilled out, you know yourself. Then, of course, being completely shocked when the police showed up to Linear Park and word began to spread around town of what had happened there. Later that evening, Scarlett wrote on social media, "Brianna was one of the best people I had ever met and such an amazing friend. A very touching tribute to the girl she just brutally murdered." At the same time as she was posting that, she was texting Eddie asking him, "Oh, hey, you worried? That we might get caught by the police?" And Eddie said, "We probably will be." And Scarlett just replied, "We'll be grand. Don't worry about it. The police around here are shite." Scarlett had wanted to keep a part of Brianna's flesh as a token of the murder. In one text she sent to Eddie, she wrote, "Can I keep some things? A couple of teeth and an eye," and said she was excited by what she had done. She also revealed that she had previously tried to poison Brianna, but it hadn't worked. It just made Brianna violently ill. Brianna's mother, Esther, had come home one day and heard Brianna, puking her guts up in the bathroom. Brianna's mother, was actually worried that Brianna had tried to do this to herself. In fact, if the poisoning had worked, Brianna's mother thought that if it had worked, she might have just assumed she had done it to herself, because she had a history of self-harm. If that had worked, they could have gotten away with it. Scarlett and Eddie had lured Brianna to the park that day under the
And that right there just blows my fucking mind. So if she would have poisoned her, and the mother would just thought it was, oh my god.
pretense of trying out a bit of the devil's dandruff. And as Brianna was sitting on the bench, she was attacked. Scarlett stabbed Brianna first, then she passed the knife to Eddie, who stabbed her 3 times. Scarlett then took the knife back and did the majority of the damage to her. The reason they killed Brianna is multifold. One of the reasons was that Brianna was transgender. Another was that she was kind of the one they had a kill list. They had a kill list of Brianna and then 5 boys on it, who they were planning on making their way through. It seems like Scarlett was the ringleader of this. A lot of people would say that Eddie was just manipulated. He was an easily manipulatable person, and that, she had this plan. She wanted. Other classmates would say they were aware of this list and were telling their parents, "So hey, listen, you won't believe it. She's got a kill list." Nobody took it seriously.
Oh my god! So if one person would have took that the least little bit serious, maybe all this could have been avoided. And they went after her just because she's a trans. No. Who gives a fuck? Bro, whatever helps you get through this life better, man. Leave that poor lady alone. Poor child didn't have a chance, did she? They had her. They had her. They wanted her, and they wasn't going to stop until they got her. That poor thing.
They decided on Brianna because they thought she would be the easiest, with Eddie texting, "I want to see if it will scream like a man or a girl." Scarlett wanted to kill anyone. Eddie was more interested in killing Brianna specifically because she was trans. The police, when searching Scarlett's home, they found her diary and found pages detailing the plan to murder Brianna. Saturday, 11th February 2023. Victim, Brianna Ghey. Plan: meet Eddie at Wooden Posts 1 p.m. Walk down to library, bus stop. Wait until Brianna gets off bus, then the three of us walk to Linear Park. Go to the pipe tunnel area. I say code word to Eddie. He stabs her in the back, and I stab her in the stomach. Eddie drags the body into the area. We both cover up the area with logs, etc. Both Eddie and Scarlett were charged with murder. Eddie was
Me manifesto. Did they find your manifesto? Oh my god. They literally found your, like, hit list plan rule thing with that. For someone who's obsessed with serial killers, you didn't learn shit about them, did you, bro? You don't leave evidence, homie. What the fuck? Dumbasses. This whole story is fuckered.
would say, through his mother, that he had been peeing in the woods when Scarlett started stabbing Brianna, and he took absolutely no part in it at all. The blood in his clothing was from him checking to see if Brianna was okay. Scarlett would, of course, say the same about Eddie, that she took no part in it at all. The old blame Marino game. Scarlett, in fact, had a cover story ready. After the murder, she messaged Brianna's phone a number of times, asking if she was okay, saying she'd heard about a stabbing in the park. When she was questioned by police after being arrested, she had this whole shtick invented and was ready to rock, hoping the police would gobble it down. She said that yes, they had met up, but then Brianna had left the park on her own to meet a random man from Manchester. The day after the murder, she texted Brianna, "Girl, is everything okay? Some teenage girl got killed in Linear Park. It's on the news everywhere. And why did you ditch us for some random man from Manchester? Like, what the F? That is so effed up." But the messages on their phones just revealed everything. They had been planning a murder for months, and as I said, had made a kill list. Brianna and 5 boys. 3 of the boys on that list were lads who had pissed off Scarlett's boyfriend. One of the guys was a rival for the affections of a girl that Eddie fancied, that he liked. And then the other guy, Scarlett just didn't like him, thought he was a bit of a dick. They finally settled on Brianna. But one time Brianna had to cancel. Another time Eddie refused because it was a school night. Then they finally were able to lure her over.
2 16-year-olds, a boy and a girl, were charged with Brianna's murder after, as you say, she was found in a park not far from her home on a Saturday afternoon in February and died of stab wounds. Well, today those 2 16-year-olds appeared in court here, and one of those defendants entered a not guilty plea. Now,
but here's one thing, if you can believe it, that'll absolutely shock you. While in custody, Scarlett, she loves her little lists. She made a second kill list. A kill list of staff in this custody centre. Yep, she wanted to kill staff at the secure children's facility she was being kept at. The list was found by staff. During the trial, Eddie selectively...
That was loud. Like, I meant to laugh like that on the inside of my head. Stupid motherfucker. Oh, shit.
Was allowed to give evidence by typing his answers onto a computer, which would show up for the jury and be read out loud. During the trial, he did Sudoku puzzles and played with a fidget spinner. Some argue this was all an act, that he was playing it up for sympathy. Others say that he was traumatized by the murder he, committed. At the end of the trials, Scarlett Jenkinson was sentenced to life with a minimum of 22 years.
Hells yeah.
Eddie to life with a minimum of 20 years.
Hells yeah.
Scarlett and Eddie, for Brianna's murder, you are to be detained at His Majesty's pleasure. As you know, that is a life sentence. I must also set the minimum time before you can be considered for release. But how long you will actually serve will not be decided today. You will only be released if, in the future, it is decided that you no longer present a danger. I don't want to dwell on the murder itself, but it was brutal. The injuries inflicted with the knife Eddie had bought a few weeks earlier were awful. Your motivation, Scarlett, was to act out your fantasies. The messages show you wanted to make a real victim feel pain and fear. Your actions after the event and what you have told Dr. Church confirm you enjoyed the killing. Eddie, although your motives may not have been the same, you knew what Scarlett wanted to do and why. You understood her desire to see Brianna suffer. You actively participated in this brutal murder, knowing the sadistic motives behind it, and you cannot avoid the consequences just by saying you did not have the same desires.
Exactly.
I find also that you, Eddie, were motivated in part by hostility towards Brianna because she was transgender.
Why?
The murder was motivated by an obsession Scarlett and Eddie had. It's always thought Scarlett was the ringleader. They were going to kill, eventually. But also, the fact that Brianna was transgender bumped her up to the top of the list. Brianna had her struggles, more than her fair share, but she always put on a brave face for the world, always showed her happy side, and no doubt would have gone on to become a pretty amazing person. Instead, two psychopaths with the absolute darkest possible obsession you can have ended that, in the process ending themselves. Scarlett for sure doesn't seem like a person who anyone should have hope for.
Oh,
if
hell
she hadn't
no.
done what she did, she would have done something. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's another list in wherever she is now.
Prison guards.
They both showed a complete lack of empathy. They knew exactly what they were doing and shared no remorse after the fact, demonstrating sheer arrogance. But thankfully, she may as well add herself onto that list because she won't be doing much now. She's already done enough. Thank you so much for watching. It really means...
Thank you so much for having me, Mike. It's always a pleasure being here, and I enjoy our time every week, bud. Have a good one, homie. Alright, I really enjoyed today's video. That was so fucked up. Beautiful young lady lost her life because of two fucking shitless wonders. What the fuck? Alright, but I really enjoyed today's story. Like, a lot of them are really hard to get through, but they're stories that need to be told, you know what I mean? I'm just glad I get to watch them with you guys. I don't think I could do it by myself. Like I said, I really enjoyed today's video. If y'all enjoyed it as much as me, go down there, leave a like. While you're down there going over, slap the subscribe button, become part of the Build for 1,000 Nation. We do some crazy shit here. And if you want to know when that crazy shit happens, ding that bell. It might work for you. It might not. If it does, hop in on one of the premieres, be like, hey bro, what's going on? I got dinged. And I'll be like, hells yeah, man. Did you get dinged good? And you'd be like, oh, I got dinged so good, I can never come back from it. And I'd be like, hell yeah, leave a like. And, you know, then you can dip. As always, be good to one another. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Man, all I know is, after hearing something like that, I'm going to have to get on the Build 5000 store, get me a blanket so I can go and cry ever so tenderly into it. Links in the description if you need one too. Oh shit, that's fun.